What is good, guys? Tunji from Ceasar Graphics. Welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to create food poster. All right. Now I'm going to be sharing my process with you, and I'm also going to let you know what to watch out for when working on food poster and how to tweak your elements, most especially your visual, to give that project the unique and successful look. So without any much talking, let's dive into today's tutorial. So if you need the exercise file, you can simply make use of the link in the description section of this tutorial, and let's start. All right, so this is the project we're going to be recreating, and I'm going to create a new document now, and I'm going to just call this food poster. All right, and I'm going to click on I'm going to leave every other setting the way it is because I'm posting this on social media. I'm posting this on Instagram, and I'm going to make my width 900. Height is going to be 900, and resolution is going to be 72. Color mode is going to be on RGB, and I'm going to leave every other setting the way they are and click on the create button. Now, before working on any food poster, the first question you need to ask yourself is, what is the message? All right, now we already know it's a food poster. All right, now the message is it to promote the food or to promote the store? Okay, now after taking my time to read the information on this project, I realized that the goal is to market both the food and the restaurant. So what we need to do here now is to get a picture of a restaurant and also to make the food mouth-watering. All right, and I'm going to share tricks on how you make the food mouth-watering that will make people want to read the information on the project and quickly go to the store to purchase the food. Because anytime you're working on food poster and you're asked to use the food from the brand, what they need you to do is to create something that will make the mouth of their audience watering. They want to patronize them. So I'm going to show you guys my trick on how I, achieve that. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, you know what? I'm not going to work on this project. I'm going to just use this frame settings that this design I used already. So I already have the exercise file on the project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to call this my BG. Okay. I'm going to call this BG. And I am going to share my screen with you and show you guys how I get pictures from the internet. And I'm going to be picking my pictures from Google. All right. So because, like I said, I know this is a project that require me to promote both the restaurant and also the food. So I decided to Google this keyword here, that fast food restaurant setup, and I decided to choose this. All right, I decided to choose this, and the reason why I decided to choose this particular image here is because I like the fact that we have less colors on the image, because one of the things you need to watch out for whenever you are trying to combine image on your project is try as much as possible not to use color to destroy the project. All right, try to avoid not using color to destroy the project. So I decided to look for something with less color because I know the color of my subject, which is the food, is colorful. So I don't want something that is too colorful to kill the look of the project. So that's why I decided to use this image. So I'm going to drag that and drop on my project here. I'm going to make this real big, but before I do that, I'm going to convert this to a smart object. Now, the reason why I'm converting this to a smart object is because I know I'm going to be playing with the scale of the image. So I don't want to lose the quality of the image. And that's the reason why I decided to convert it to a smart object. So I'm going to activate the free transform on this now, and then we are going to make this real big. All right, so this is going to be real big like so, and this should be somewhere here. Now the reason why I'm pushing it up here is because I don't want this text to be visible, because this image is not for The project is not for this brand, so I'm not ready to market any brand here. Okay, so I'm going to hit the enter key now, and don't worry about the quality of the image. You don't really need the image to be this stronger. So I'm going to make this visible, and I'm going to make this visible. Now this should be behind this, all right, and I'm going to make this position this here, and this should be above this. And I'm going to make this a bit bigger. Now, the reason why I'm making it bigger is because I really want to make the mount watery. I really want people to see it and want to say, wow, I need to get this. Now, scale, most time, is part of how we quickly draw people's attention to the information on our project. So when you make the food bigger, people who have already tasted the food will know how sweet it is in the mouth. So making your picture, your food image bigger is part of how you can make the mouth watery. I've given you guys one of the secrets that I use. Okay, so then I'm going to make this bigger by activating the free transform on it and make this real big. So, and we need to zoom out. I'm going to rotate this way. Okay, we need to make it bigger again, and I'm going to hold down Shift, drag it this way, like this, right? That. There. Okay, so this should be here, there, right? Yeah. Then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this here like so, because I really want this to look like it's on the table. All right, I want it to look like it's on the table, so I'm going to move this and drag here. All right, now perspective is also important whenever you are creating photo manipulation. I've mentioned that before in my previous tutorial. Perspective is what makes the photo manipulation successful. All right, and that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So I'm going to let's just here like that, and I'm going to add a layer mask to this. All right, so my layer mask is on the wrong side now, and I need to fix that. So I'm going to hit Control-I to reverse the mask. All right, now this side here is where I'm going to be putting the other information on the project. Now, whenever you are placing your element on your project, guys, always have the picture of how you want your layout, where you're going to be placing the other information on your project. I know most creatives always forget that. So, and that's the reason why I created this space here for the other information I'm going to be placing. I'm going to make a copy of this now. So I'm going to drag this and go up here and going to hide this, right click on this and say rasterize. Now, the reason why I'm rasterizing it is because I want to be able to draw this side here of my wood here down. So, but before I do that, I'm going to make a copy of this, and this here needs to go down. All right, because see, guys, when you have the elements that you plan to use on the project, please don't just use the image the way you download it. It's not every time you use it the way you download it. There are times you need to tweak it to make it look the way you feel it will help the project. All right, yeah, so I'm going to hit Control-E because I need to mesh the two layers. So I hold down Control and select the two layers. Now hit Control-E. All right, then so I'm seeing this error here. We need to fix that. So I'm going to select the spot filling tool and just clear this. All right, so we need to clear this like that. Don't worry, we're going to fix that later. Okay, so this is good. So then I'm going to draw a marquee shape here. All right. Remember what I said. I'm trying to create room for the other information that I am going to be placing on the project. So I'm going to move this here like that and go to Edit and select Content Aware Scale. I'm going to hold down Shift and drag this down. All right, and hit the Enter key like that. Then we can now use this spot healing tool to just, fine tune our wood here. All right, this is beautiful. So for the chicken, all right, I'm going to rotate that a bit. Okay, and we can even still move this up here like that. All right, it's beautiful. Okay, so then let's start with the manipulation. All right, so I'm going to do that now by first selecting the background and go to filter here and select blur gallery and hit the field blur option here. Now, the reason why I'm applying the field blur is because the restaurant image is not really necessary. All right, it's necessary, but it's not as necessary as what we need to use to draw people's attention to the project, which is our focal point, which is this. All right, because the look of the restaurant most time is not what draw people to come to go there. It's what people are going there to eat. You know, people like what can make them happy. All right, so the restaurant look is not what's going to make them happy, but what they are going to put in their mouth. Okay, I'm going to make my blur strength here 11. All right, let's just make it 11. 12 is fine because I still want to see the lights, the light bulbs from the restaurant there. All right, so I'm going to select the OK button like that. And then for this wood right here, I'm going to add curve and I'm going to click on the clip icon here. And I'm also going to add levels because the look of the wood here is too bright. All right, it's too bright. In fact, it's so bright that it's conflicting with the, it's affecting the visibility of my focal point. And that's another thing you need to watch out for. The value of the color on your visuals, on your elements, is also important. All right. There's the hierarchy part of the value of the elements that you place on your project. And that's the reason why I am going to change the brightness of this wood right here. Okay, I hope somebody get that. Okay, so then I'm going to start with the levels, and this should go to this side here, and I'm going to move this to this side here like that. All right, then let's go with the curve now, and this should go down here, and this should go down here. Now you see we're beginning to see the loop. We're beginning to see our focal point clearly now. All right. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to add what I call I'm going to add color lookup. And the reason why I'm adding this color lookup now is because there should be unity on your project, which is making it look like the elements, all right, used on the project are one family, like they are seen as one family. All right. Yeah. So for this, I'm going to be using the color lookup, and under the color lookup here, I'm going to choose hedgy amber. And the reason I'm using the hedgy amber, you guys are going to see it now. But yeah, this helped with making the colors blend, but is affecting the entire project. So I'm going to move this behind the image of the turkey, and I'm going to change my blend mode here to soft light and reduce the opacity of the blend mode or the layer. Now look at this, guys. If you look at the project now, you see that my wood here and my background here looks like they are both from the same world. It's as if the pictures were the image were taken from the same scene. All right. So yeah. So what the next thing I'm going to do here is this my wood here. All right, is too it's too sharp here. All right, so we need to make it a bit blurry so as to create that depth that I always explain to you guys. So I'm going to use my blur tool to achieve that. So my blur tool will be this. Yeah. So this is the blur tool, and I'm going to make sure my strength is set to 100, and I'll increase my brush size here. So we need to make sure that sample all layers is unchecked. Okay, don't forget that. So I'm going to gently apply that here now. Okay, yeah, that's it. This is okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do now is to add shadow under my focal points here, because shadow, like I always say to you guys, is part of how we tell story in graphic design. Not applying shadow on your project most time is going to change the message. Applying it the wrong way is also going to change the message. So right now we have this on this board here, and I need to add shadow to it. So I'm going to create a new layer below this. So I'm going to hold down Alt and click on the new layer icon. All right, and I'm going to call this shadow. Okay, so sorry, it should be 1H. Then I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'm going to go to the brush tool here and go to the brush settings. I need to change my type of brush here. Okay, so I'm using my art brush, so I don't want to get you guys confused. So make sure you're on the soft round brush when you're doing this. All right, so I'll go back to my brush setting here, and I'm going to turn off my pen pressure. Then I'll increase my brush size. Yeah, let's see, beautiful. Then I'm going to press this down like that. All right, so I'm going to work this up a bit, and this should go up a bit like that. Good. Then I'm going to increase my brush size. Now look at this. Now when you are applying shadow to your image or your elements in graphic design, please, you need to understand the angle the light is coming from. All right, you need to understand the angle the light is coming from. If you look at this project here, you don't need anybody to tell you that the light is coming from this side. All right, so my shadow needs to be on the opposite side of the light, and that's why I'm going to apply my shadow somewhere. Excuse me, we need to rotate this way. Yeah, so my shadow should be somewhere here. All right, again like that. Beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to activate free transform. We just need to push this down a bit and put this like that to make it a bit flat. There. Okay. So the other thing I'm going to do now is I'm still going to add more shadow because I still want this shadow under my leaf here to look like it's part of the, the scene. All right. So I'm going to make sure I'm still on the soft round brush here, and I'm going to turn on transfer. So if you don't have this, all right, if you don't have a graphics tablet, you can turn down your flow to 11 and you're still going to achieve the same move. But for now, I have a graphics tablet, so I'm going to go back to 100. And I'm going to gently apply the shadow. Now, please, the shadow you're going to apply should be soft. All right. Now, make sure your control is set to pen pressure. And I'm going to just apply a soft shadow. Please don't make that shadow too heavy, because making it too heavy is not going to help. Then let's go back to my browser here, because there's another element I'm going to add to this to really help the light effect on the project. All right, so I have this light effect that I already searched for here. So if you need the keyword, this is it right here. It's called light flare. So once you get to light, once you search for light, once you Google light flare, you're going to see this as part of your options. So I'm going to drag this and drop in my project like that. So this should be above this like that. And I'm going to change my blend mode here to screen. And I'm going to activate free transform on this and make this real big. And this should be somewhere here. All right. Should be somewhere there. Now, if I place the lights here, it's not going to work because see, I already have light on this side of the of the image. So my light should be here in order to connect with what we have here. So whenever you have your focal point or the image you're planning to use on the project, see what you need to add and what you need to subtract, and see what you feel you can add to the image to boost the success of the project. And that's what I'm trying to do here now. Now the image of my background here is the color on it is too strong for me. So I'm going to go back here. All right, no, you know what? Let's just select this here. And I'm going to activate hue saturation and just reduce the color a bit. All right, just dial down the color a bit like that. Yeah, that's it. Then the other thing I'm going to do is to activate curve and just, reduce the brightness of the image. Like I said, the restaurant image is not really the focus. It's part of the project, but it's not as important as the image that we have here. All right, so I'm going to just reduce this like this so I can have more my image can be more obvious. All right, so the other thing we need to do is let us add just soft shadow under this tray here to help the project a bit more. So I'm going to select the brush tool again now, and this time I'm going to select I'm going to go to my brush settings, then select the soft round brush. Then I'm going to move this down a bit again and increase my brush size. All right. So then this time, what I'm going to do is to just play with my flow. So I'm going to reduce my flow to something around 8 is fine. And I'm going to just rotate this a bit. Let's put this down here. and see where I'm going to position it. All right, so I'm just going to click, and I'm going to keep clicking till I see. Okay, you know what? Let's just increase the flow a bit and just click. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. Okay, so it's actually there. So I'm just going to add it, just light shadow. All right, like that. Now, yeah, so we're making progress, right? So the next thing we're going to do is to, because if you look at the title here, because I already have it typed here, we have hot and fresh. So the idea of the hot and fresh is to make people, just to create that impression that what you're coming to get from us is something that we just made. Like it's not something already put in the maybe in the old maybe something which we already made and then we just want to warm it for you. No. So what we need to now do is to create that hot effect on the image. I'm sure for those of you who are good at adding elements to your project, you know the right elements to add, the right visual to add to help to create that hot effect on the project. So I don't need to tell you. All right, just look at my other screen and see what I'm going to search for. And this is the keyword. It's called food smoke. So I'm going to drag this food smoke now and drop on my project here. So then this should be above this. All right, and I'm going to change the blend mode to screen. And then I'm going to activate the free transform on the layer, because if you are not on the layer, the free transform is not going to work. All right. Now, the smoke should not be too heavy. Please, guys, the smoke should not be too heavy. And that's one of the things you need to watch out for whenever you're creating photo manipulation. If you make the smoke too heavy, it's going to make it look like the image is to make it look like there's fire and the chicken or turkey. Yeah. All right. So look like there's fire burning inside the turkey. So please don't make the smoke too heavy. All right. So I'm going to add a layer mask to the layer because I want to take out this error here. So I'm going to select the saffron brush. The flow should go back to 100. All right. And this should just go up like that. Now make sure your foreground is set to black, because if your foreground is not set to black, there's no way you'll be able to take this out from the layer. Now, this is beautiful. Now, the other thing we need to do now to create that font on the project is to pick from the elements that we have on the image to create that font look. And most time, what we do to make that work as creative is first, I'm going to stamp visible the project by holding Control Shift Alt and E. All right, Control Shift Alt and E. And I am going to select the pen tool here. Then I'm going to zoom in and just pop out this. All right, so this is what I'm going to be using to create the font effect on the project. Then I'm going to hit Control Enter to convert my part to a marquee. All right, I don't need this. All right, yeah. So then I'm going to hit Control J on the layer that I just stamped visible, and we have this here. So make sure you're on the move tool. All right, so I'm going to move this out here. Okay, this is beautiful. So this can be here, and we're going to rotate it with the free transform. And I'm going to make a copy of it again, activate the free transform, and just rotate it this way. Then this can be here, and make a copy of this again and position this here. And this should be here. You can activate the free transform on it and just position it here. So now you can now start playing with the scale. All right, because making them have uniform scale most time is not going to help. So you need to play with the scale in order to help the to give the project that dynamic look. All right, so this can be here, and I'm going to activate the free transform and just rotate it this way. This should be here like that. And then for this, I can make a copy of this now. All right, so anytime you hear me use the word make a copy, what I am doing is hitting Control J on my keyboard. All right, so I'm going to activate the free transform on this. create transform on this and make this bigger. All right. Then I'm going to right click and say convert to smart object. I'm going to go to filter, blur, gallery, and say field blur here. And my field blur is going to be this. And I'm going to select the OK button like that. And I'm going to make a copy of this. Now, this can now go under the lights. All right. Yeah, that can go under the light because I actually don't want anything to cover the lights. All right. So this here and this can go right here. All right. And we can now rotate this 180 degree. This can just come right here. Move this down like that, and can even just come out here like that. Then another thing we can do is to make a copy of this again, and this time we can just move this to somewhere here. All right, like that. Let's cover that text here. All right, yeah. Let's cover the text. Okay, yeah. So like that. All right, all right. I'm gonna pause here. If you have not subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button and also click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. Okay, let's continue the tutorial. So what next are we doing is to add our text. All right, is to add our text. So most time before I add my text, one of the things I try as much as possible to do is to draw what I think would look nice with my text arrangement. And that's another thing you need to do before getting to the placing of your text. It's always good for you to draw how you want your text to look. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on. So I'm going to just put, because the title is hot, fresh, and delicious. So hot should come here. Okay. Then I can just put my T this way. Okay. All right. And fresh can now be here. R E S H. All right. E. Delicious can now come this way. All right. So my delicious can now form um the smiley look here. All right, so let's go back to the project and just quickly do that. All right, so one of the things I try to do most time is, because most time when your layer panel is too loaded with too many layers, it's always making the project look scary to you. That's for me. I don't know about you. All right, so I'm going to put everything here in a group. So I'm going to shift select all the layers and hit Control G. All right, so let's play with our text now. So I'm going to start with the hearts using the layout that I just showed you guys. So I'm going to copy that now, and I'm going to just paste that here. Now, why I decided to play with my type that way is because I want to create that font on the project. So I'll go to the property tab here, and I'm going to change my font to, or let's just use here. What type of font can I use? I want something that carried weights. Let's see, what can we use? Let's use a slab font, because slab type most time always carry weights. Oh, this is one good font with weights here. Okay, so this font name is called Nexa Slab. All right, this is called Nexa Slab. So, and that's what I'm going to be using here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this. I'll hide this. All right, because I want to have everything here on their separate layer because of what I want to do. Okay, now most time I do this playful thing with Illustrator, but because I don't want to waste time opening Illustrator here, so I'm going to just do it here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this. So I'll take O and T out from this. All right, and I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to take H and O out from this. Okay, and I'm going to just leave T here. Okay, like that. So yeah, so this here will be smaller. Activate the free transform and make this smaller. And this should be here. All right, it should be here. Then for the H, okay, and this should be here. All right, this should be here like that. And I'm going to convert this to a shape. All right, because I want to be able to change the look of my letter. And that's one other thing I need you guys to know how to do. Now, you only do this when you are loaded yourself with different type of uh, type, playing with type. All right, so this should be here. This should be here. So I'm going to do the same thing to this. Right click, convert to shape. Then this can move out here. So I'm going to use shift to do that. Turn this out like that. And this can move down like that. And this can come right here. All right. So for those of you wondering, okay, Caesar, why are you doing this? You know, I still want, like what I said previously, I want to create that fun look on the project. Now, see, there are times when you still need to go outside of what you did here. All right, because I know so many of us feel, okay, once I've drawn my concept, there's no need for me going out. No, you need to do that. There are times you need to do that. All right, in order to give that project the successful look that the project needs. All right, so this time what I'm going to do is just move this up here a bit and position this somewhere around here. So this is touching this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Control and activate. I'm going to convert. I'm going to create a mark key of the letter O, and I'll go to select, modify, and select expand. And I'm going to make my expand 6. All right. Go to select again, modify, and select expand and make it, let's make it, let's make it 6 again. So 6 plus 6 is 12. So I'm going to select OK. So instead of you using 6 when you're working on your version of this tutorial, just make it 12. Okay. So then I'm going to go to the text T here and hold on Alt and select the layer mask icon here to cut that out like that. All right. So this is beautiful. All right. So I'm going to move this here, which is our hot text, and I'm going to put this in a group. Okay. So I'm going to call this hot. Yep. Then let's go with the fresh. So for the fresh, so I am going to go here and duplicate the letter O. Okay. And move this out here like that. Then I'm going to copy just the RES text. All right. And I am going to paste this here like that. So this can come right here. And I'm going to make a copy of this. Then this should be here. And I'm going to make this F like that. And this should be here like that. And I'm going to activate the free transform on this and just rotate it a bit and position it here. All right, I'll position it here. Let's make it a bit bigger. Then this, another copy of this again and position this here. And I'm going to call this, I'm going to make this letter R. All right, and activate the free transform on this and just rotate this way. All right, rotate it this way. I'm supposed to put letter H, and let's just rotate this back. All right, and we can just move this above this like that. Okay, this should be here. Now, please, guys, when you're doing this, all right, one of the things you need to watch out for is making your text overlap, because when you make them overlap, it's going to affect, it's going to change the message. It's going to affect the shape of the text. And when you tamper with the shape of the text, you are going to make it difficult for people to understand the message. All right. Yeah. So I can just move this in a bit because I still need more space between the R and the letter F. All right. So this is it. So what's the next thing? We need to put this in a group again. So I'll put this in a group. All right. So this is going to be in a group, and I'm going to call this fresh. For the H. All right. Let's see if I can just add more drama to the H. All right. Let's see if I move this, because it's always good to try and see if there's something you can add to add more fun. Now, please, when you're doing this, avoid overdoing it, because overdoing it most times is going to affect the look of the project. Okay. So let's see if I move this here and just position this here like that. So I'm going to draw a part here. Just going to draw a part somewhere here like that. And I'm going to copy the delicious texts and go to my text tool here. And I'm going to select the horizontal text tool and make sure that my mouse is on the part. All right. So if you don't see the slash sign, please don't click. If you didn't see this slash sign, it means Photoshop is telling you, all right, bro, well, I'm good to go. All right. So I'm going to click on this now, and I am going to paste my text, and I'm going to make my text real big. All right. I'm going to make it big like that. Then we need the direct selection tool to change the position of this, and I'm going to push this in like that, and I am going to select the text tool again and make this bigger again. Let's just make it, should we make it 90? All right, I think 92 here is fine, and I'm going to leave it like that and hide this and move this here like this. So one other thing I need to do here to help my layout here is to put everything here first in a group, because there's something I'm about to do, and I'm going to put this first in a group. And let's see if I activate the free transform now and make this smaller. This should be here like that. All right, like that. And let's see if we can now add more drama to this. By first, I'm going to put this, I'm going to make a copy of this, then hide this and convert this to a smart object. All right, and I'm going to activate free transform and right click and select warp. All right, and under my warp option here, I'm going to use let's see if I use flag. This flag here is looking too curvy, so let's make it 10. No, let's change it to, do we use this? No. Let's see if we use this. No, it's affecting the layout now. Let's make this 10. All right, I think I prefer this. So I'm going to hit the OK button, and this should be somewhere here like that. And look at this side here, is looking a bit empty for me. And also my delicious text is touching the letter A. So we need to go into the parts now. Into the title here now, right click and select edit content. And that's the advantage of converting your layer to a smart object. So I'm just going to move this up a bit like that. All right, and hit Control S. Now, when I go back to the project now, we should have this. And this is very, 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 very okay for me. All right, so I'm going to put this down. I think I need to add more of what is my leaf here. So I'm going to make a copy of this. All right, and this should be here. Okay, and I'm going to rotate this. I'm missing I'm missing one of the information that need to go on the project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the title here because I just realized that I did not add the and sign. So I'll activate the free transform on this and make this go a bit smaller. And this should be here. And we need to reduce the size to, let's just still reduce it to something around 45 for now. And I'm going to add and here. All right. And the and can be a bit smaller. Okay. Like that. All right. Now, if I hit Control S and go back to the project, we should have this. Now, I think this is even looking more better than the before. All right. So I'm going to move this up a bit and activate the free transform on this and rotate it a bit. All right. And this should move up. And I'm going to hit Control S on this. And let's go back to the project. And this is looking beautiful. Don't know about you, but I'm liking this. All right. Then for the other information that we need to add to the project, so I'm going to first start with the time. I always like to make my time bigger. All right. So I'm going to just paste that somewhere around here. All right. And this should be here. And I'm going to make this bigger like that. All right. I'll make it bigger. Okay. I'm thinking we should change the font. Let's just change the font, all right? Because there are some fonts that are good for title and not good for okay, let's use Fedora. All right. All right. Let's use Monstrat. Let's use Monstrat. Monstrat is one of my favorite fonts. All right, so I'm going to use Monstrat here. And yeah. So that's good. Then for the dates, I'm going to copy that and I'm going to make a copy of this and move this down here. And then I'm going to paste this here. All right. And move this here. Or let's just make everything title case. Let's see what title case will look like. I think I prefer the title case. All right. That this should be here. And I'm going to make this, let's just make it regular. All right. Yeah, regular is fine. And I'm going to make this a bit smaller. Then I'll make just the time bolder to create that dynamic look and also to create hierarchy on that side of the proximity. So I'm going to move this in. Should we use something more bolder? Let's see if I use extra bold. Yeah, I think I prefer the extra bold. All right, and we can just change the color to add more, drama to that part of the project, and like that. And yeah, so then the space between my letters here is I need to reduce it, so I'm just gonna push that in a bit like that. Yeah, this is good. So this is supposed to be here. All right, and I am going to copy the venue like that, and then I'm gonna make a copy of this and position it here. Then I'll paste this like that, and this should be white. All right, it should be white, and this should be here, and this should be like that. Okay, let's see, straight over the Surulere. Yeah, so I'm gonna hit enter here, and this should face this side here like that, and move this in here. Add space between the rows. Make this RD. Okay, and street should be this. All right, now the reason why I'm doing this is because this side of my the venue here is longer than this. It's too long. All right, so I need to do that so as to help the layout of my project. So let's act like we know the name of the the brand. So we can just put the name of the brand here by saying the chicken. Okay, the chicken place. Okay, then just gonna move this here. And this can be bolder. All right, this can be, sorry, I think I'm supposed to drop my pen. So I'm gonna delete this. And this should be bold. Okay, and this should come down and this should follow. All right. So we can now move this down like that. And yeah, like that. All right. And I can make a copy of this and just put venue. There are times when you have to be the one to add some other stuff to some other contents to the project to help your layout. All right. It's very compulsory because I know so many creatives feel, okay, well, once I've gotten the content from the client, there's no need for me adding anything to it. No, no. There are times you need to be the one to add to the content. Now, your adding should now be, it shouldn't now be what you know is not part of the project. All right. Notice what I just added now. The things I added now are not things outside the project. I added the venue, and then I also add the name of the brand as part of the venue. All right. So yeah, so this should be here. Activate the free transform again, and then move this here. Right. And I'm gonna add the RSVP under the venue, because like what I always say to you guys, white space, white space, white space, white space, very important. The use of white space is very important in your design project. So I'm going to add space between my RSVP here. I'm just going to put that somewhere here. All right. And I'll paste it. Right click, and I'm going to use something not too heavy and close the space between the letters and make this, let's say 12. Okay, 12 is too small. Let's just make it 16. All right. And let's make it cap. Yeah, let's make it cap. All right. And I'm going to close the space between the rows like that. Okay. And this should be here like that. Yeah, so this is good. So one other thing I think I can do again here is make some of the important phrase here bolder. So we have come with appetites for opening the first. Opening the first only. Opening. Opening should be bold, extra bold. And chicken restaurant should also be bold. Should be bold. No, it should not be bold italics. It should just be bold, all right? Extra bold. And what else? Logos should be bold, all right? Extra bold, like that. And I'm going to draw a shape here, all right? I'm going to draw a shape here, like that. And I'm going to change this to this and make this this. And this should be here, all right? Because this information here is important. All right, it's very important. In fact, people need to read it so they know the advantage of going to the restaurant. All right, now, my text here is not really fitting the shape. So what I can do is to make this a bit bigger, like that. Or another thing I can do to make it work is to activate the free transform and just skew this, like that. All right, and this should be here. Or we can even tweak the layout. So I can move this down and move this down like that. Okay. And I'm going to make this bigger like that. Yeah. All right. So this is the final project, and let's see the before and after. All right. So I'm going to put everything here in our group, and this is the after, and this is the before. All right. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button, and also remember to click the post notification bell, hit the like button, and share this with other creatives. I can't wait to see your version of this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.